All right, so video on demand on Twitch is now being hit with the big copyright thing, and everybody's going nuts over it because it's the end of the world. But here to tell you what is going on with this is Twitch basically just set up a new thing where your video on demand, which means the videos of your streams, the recorded streams, etc., after you're done streaming, it gets set up and people can watch it later, so forth, are now subject to copyright. And what this means is that they will be scanning them for copyrighted music, and then they will mute those portions of the video. You don't get a strike like you do on YouTube. You don't get banned or anything else like that. You just get it muted. Now, here's the thing about this, is the way they worded it was a little bit not really the best way to word it, because a bunch of people, as in like 99.9999% of people who have ever used the internet, have no idea how copyright works. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. Now, I have a pretty fair deal of how copyright works, because from 2007 to 2009, I was basically Mr. Rock Band guy, and I had to do a very, very in-depth amount of research about how copyright worked, because I had to make sure that my videos with, like, all these millions of views weren't just going to get wiped right off the face of YouTube, even though a bunch of them already did, and so forth. So, when it comes to copyright, from all the research I've done, here's the thing. Is you need to not be pissed off at Twitch and YouTube. I know, me telling you to not be pissed off at YouTube about all of the stuff that's going on, because they're not the ones making these rules. It's the copyright law, it's the music industry, it's the big business of music that's doing it, all right? You don't need to get mad at the bands, you don't get mad at the musicians, it's the actual labels that are doing it. And of course, the copyright law. Now, the way that they worded it, to get back to that, the way that Twitch worded the whole announcement was that they said that they will be checking for in-game music copyright and actual external music copyright. Now, the problem with that wording is that, again, a bunch of people don't know how copyright works. So a bunch of people took this to mean that they're going to just mute games that have music. Like if you're playing, Tetris or something like that, and it's, the Tetris song, you're going to get muted, although you actually will, because the Tetris music actually is copyrighted, and Tetris itself, the company, actually has a copyright on any games that are Tetris spin-offs, so it's actually illegal to make Tetris spin-offs without prior approval of the Tetris company, believe it or not. And that also includes the Tetris music also, which I've actually been hit for copyright on. But anyways, my point is that the music in the game is not immediately going to get hit by copyright. What they meant by that is music that is copyrighted but in a game. So for example, Crazy Taxi is one of the easiest examples of this. Crazy Taxi is nothing but music that was made without the game in mind, but was put into the game, like the Offspring song, etc. Everybody knows on Crazy Taxi. So that song was not made expressly for that game. So therefore, you can get hit with copyright on it, because when the creators of the game made Crazy Taxi, they licensed Offspring's song for use in that game, but not for public broadcast or for public display or listening or recording or anything else like that. The license was specifically to be in the game. This is why rhythm games are getting hit by copyright, and they always have been, is because when they license those songs in Rock Band or Guitar Hero or whatever else, they're licensing them from an external source, an external band or creator, musician, etc., to put into the game, not to be publicly broadcast for free. Now, let's take the music and say DDR or something like that, like DDR, third mix, whatever else, stuff like that. If you have a song that is expressly made for the game by a musician and is not being released on a CD or an album or a label or anything else of that sort, then you can get away with it and it will not be hit by copyright. Now, of course, there's even more stuff to this. For example, let's say the song Dynamite Rave off of DDR, okay? That song was made expressly for the game, but it's also on a CD that you can buy in stores underneath a label, meaning that that song actually will get hit by copyright because it is on that CD, and it is therefore something that people can purchase in stores, and so it has its own copyright. Now, of course, in a lot of cases, video game music that's put on CDs doesn't really get hit for this that often. It's just that they can be. For example, I actually got hit for Symphony of the Night music, believe it or not. But then again, people almost never get hit by Parappa the Rappa music, even though that is also on a CD and able to be purchased in stores and so forth. So it's really kind of a little bit of a gray area there, but it's always going to get you hit if the music was not made expressly for the game, like, for example, the radio music in GTA and all the other, subsequent GTA games of other musicians of the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s and so forth. Those will all get you hit. So that's what they meant by in-game music. And of course, if you're just broadcasting music with like Pandora and stuff like that, you're going to get hit by that too. Now, again, a lot of people are getting mad at Twitch for setting this up. But again, they don't really have a choice. I'm honestly like boggled that they didn't get hit by copyright or get sued into oblivion like YouTube did earlier about a year or so ago with this whole thing. Like, I'm just surprised at this because, I mean, people stream copyrighted music on Twitch all the time, and so I don't really know how they haven't had this set up before. So for everybody that's like, Twitch is bad and Twitch is dumb and how dare they screw us, I'm sorry, but you have no argument with them. You have no way to argue with them. That would be like, some dude gets his car or something like that, and like goes and, I don't know, I can't even think of an example for this because it's like, it's just so obvious. It's copyright law. It's there. It's been there for decades and decades, and it hasn't changed in decades and decades because the people who are running the music labels are people who were in their 60s and 70s who have no idea how the internet works. I mean, I'm sorry, I really don't want to do like the whole, ageism thing, and if you're old, you're stupid, that's not what I mean. But you realize that the majority of people who are that age and are running a very big music label don't have the time to check up on how the internet works. That's usually done by their people underneath them that are younger and, are into the whole vibe of, YouTube and Twitch and Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr and all that stuff. So they don't ever feel the need to actually check it, and there you go. Like, I'll actually quote something really funny here that was back in the day. I'm sure a lot of you know who Guitar Hero Phenom is, right? Well, a lot of you who are rhythm gamers and stuff like that. I was talking to his dad one time, and his dad and him got invited to Activision to play Guitar Hero for him and stuff like that because they wanted to like meet the guy who would, help popularize their game and stuff like that. Well, he did, like Through the Fire and Flames and all these other songs, stuff like that, and they showed him like the YouTube views and all this stuff, and they had no idea this was even going on. Like the higher ups at Activision, the people that made the game, had no idea this was going on. They just didn't even know. It's not because they're like just dumb, it's just because they're just too busy with their day-to-day stuff. They're caring about selling the game, and that's it, just like these music industry people are caring about selling the music. They don't care about the social media stuff. They have people to do that for them, so they don't ever look it up. But unfortunately, these people higher up are the ones that make the rules. And so until these rules get changed, copyright will be this way, instead of course, a smart music label would say, hey, we've got this dude with like 50,000 people watching our stream, and he's playing the newest song from our newest band that we hired. Jesus Christ, this would cost us like $100,000 to advertise this stuff to 50,000 people on the internet. This dude's doing it for free. Let's slip him like, a grand or two or something like that and tell him, hey, Bill, how about you keep playing that music on your stream every now and then? We'll keep you, keep you well fed. How about that one? That would be the smart way to do it, because you're paying this dude like $1,000 to give you advertisement that would cost you 10 times that, 100 times that anywhere else. That would be the smart way to do it. But again, these companies are stuck in the past. Not Twitch and YouTube, but the music labels. So you can't really do anything about it. So that's my whole rant on that. So I just wanted to try and avert some of the blame and the hate towards Twitch because they're a good company. They're not a perfect company, but they're a good company. And what they do is something that allows a lot of people to be entertained. They blew up from a tiny little company into a like juggernaut in just about 2 or 3 years' time. And they're still trying to kind of handle the backlash from that. So they're doing the best they can. Don't hate on them. Hate on the music labels that are still stuck in the 1950s because they're the ones that need to have something changed. All right, so that's my whole thing on that. Sorry again for not a lot of videos coming up and stuff like that. I just realized in hindsight this should have been like a thought of the day. Herp derp. I'm just super duper busy with a bunch of stuff. I will have more videos coming out. I've actually got some rendering right now. So, yeah.